All right, man. Alex sent me a report on social media saying that the Pistons are amongst one of the teams that's interested in Memphis Grizzlies pack up point guard, former Duke uh, point guard Tyus Young. I think Tyus Jones, excuse me. Let's talk about it. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to Piston Palace. Say the Pistons are amongst the top contenders to land. Tyus Young is off season, uh, per Bobby Marks. So they saying Bobby Marks saying that the Pistons, could land Tyus Jones, and like I said before, this could like literally spell. This literally looking like they're trying to move on from Killian Hayes. That's what it's looking. This is exactly what it's looking like. It's literally looking like they could be moving on from him and getting Tyus Young. I don't think you're gonna have Tyus Young come in and start. All right, he could, but I think everybody look at Tyus Jones, excuse me, as a really good backup point guard, run the show. 6 foot, solid size. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, career numbers don't jump off the page. Um, he's 26 years old, still fairly young. I mean, when you look at it, he's been in the league for a while, 7 years. He give you backup production, but he also, he just give you somebody that can run the show. You know, give you somebody that can run the show off the bench, and I just the more of these type of guys, they looking at the Bronsons, they looking at the Tyus Jones, just looking like the Killian Hayes numbers. Days are numbered. That's what it continues to look like, and like I said, they're looking at starting caliber guards. They look at backup guard. There's gonna be some. It seemed to be a more crowded free agent market for Jalen Brunson than it is Zach LaVine, and I think a lot of that got to do with the bag. And I think the Pistons would better serve going out there and trying to get Zach LaVine. You know, and then via sign and trade to help them too. But it depends on how you look at it. But Tyus Jones be a good backup, but I'm more of the variety of Gary Payton second. I think Isaiah Livers is good enough to run the second unit. But like obviously if he go down, then you do need a backup point guard. But I guess Killian, they don't plan on him being there. It ain't like they going after combo guards. I mean Jalen Brunson, I think he is a point guard. He more of a scoring caliber guard, but I just think he is a point guard. So they not only looking at starting caliber point guards, but they're looking at depth, and that could spell the end of Killian Hayes. You know, because Tyus Jones right now, he's been in the league for I say 6 years. He is better than Killian. With the drop off with Tyus Jones and Killian is Killian give you some size out there on the defensive end. That's the drop off. But I think Tyus Jones is a willing defender as well too. Um, so he is so, but it's interesting because not only are they talk, let's say looking at him as a starter, I don't see him as a starter, but it looked like all he need is an opportunity. That's what it's looking like. All he needs is an opportunity, and maybe Detroit to be there. But like I said, they first look should be Zach LaVine. And a lot of teams being attached to Zach LaVine. I know it's a lot of money, but at some point you got a lottery pick. And if you just straight up sign Zach LaVine, you probably would have to move Kelly Olynyk's contract, right? You know, but then you have Jeremy Grant. You could turn that. They could turn this. They could turn this around. I mean, Livers looked like to be a good second round pick. If you're able to bring in a Tyus Jones, move Bagley to the bench, and you're able to find somebody like Kobe White that can come off the bench and give you a bucket. I mean, you might be in the, or somebody like him. They could turn this around big quickly. But like I said, the question is camaraderie and how the young guys mesh with each other and how they come up. But my strategy would be Levine. And if I didn't want to entertain the silent trade, it'd be Levine. I would probably trade Jeremy Grant. If I do get high enough in the draft, then obviously taking Levine that eliminates Jaden Ivey. Unless you move K to the three, then you'll be probably. I mean, I don't know, but in this scenario, you probably move K to the three, be a point forward. Levine and Ivy be in the backward, but I don't think that more. I wouldn't do that if I didn't have to do it. Unless I just really like the talent, you go Levine, K, Bay at the three, take Shatter, Parker, Apollo at the four, and then at the five, probably trade Jeremy Grant for some picks for picks and probably get back in the lottery and probably draft Mark Williams or Jalen Durham if I could. And I just roll with that for now. But I mean, if they say they did take Jay and Ivy, then you probably just be looking at Tyus Jones or like Malik Monk, Gary Payton second to come off the bench to give you some heat. You probably would take that money. You probably would take that money and put it at the five probably. So probably pay Aiden. I'm not a fan of paying Aiden. I pay Mohamed Bamba before I pay Aiden, but it looked like with them looking with these reports, if these are true, it looked like Killian Hayes, might not be a Piston for long, and I respect it because at least you mature enough to at least you mature enough to at least you mature enough to say, you know what, I made a mistake. This was a bad pick. Let's move on for it before it get even crazier because they simply moved on from Seiko DeBoye really quick. And if he was, in my mind, if he was Troy Weaver pick, he still would have been sticking around. So, if he do cut ties with Killian Hayes, that say a lot that he running a tight ship and he not afraid to admit that he made a mistake. So, and I just think also Isaiah Stewart has just been a more effective NBA player than he's been more effective NBA player than Killian Hayes. But he got a niche on the team. He ain't the greatest player of all time, but he's gonna be a rotational guy in there. But I don't think he ever gonna be a starter at the five, or I don't think he'd be a starter in this league. But he one of them tough guys to come off the bench. Maybe something like a Mehmet Okur or something like that. Not talking about as far as the game, just as far as the energy that he give on coming off the bench. But yeah, that's just my opinion on that. But I think Killian Hayes. We've been talking about Tyus Jones, taking Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's one thing. Killian could back him up. That kind of spelled the writing on the wall there. But with them talking about the Tyus Jones of the world too, they could. It look like this is true. They could be preparing to move on from him. So let me know what you girls and guys think. Check the Detroit Pistons Talk playlist out. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notification. We go live and drop a video. Financial and support the channel. Cash App $sign CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link description. Find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you have business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, all my social media links, description. Appreciate y'all, man. Check out the Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Let me know in the comment section. Check out my main channel on YouTube, Goodfella TV, for more sports, music, news, entertainment. That's Goodfella TV. But hey, appreciate the love, support. Peace.